Moving along, I've referenced the Eurythmics song Sweet Dreams in some of my previous videos, but I thought it worth analysing this song as the themes present are continued in later cover versions and odes to this song, which the Industry Exposed pointed out in his series. I thought it worth breaking down this song and its successor that followed, as I feel that I can make a few things clear. I will reiterate some of what the Industry Exposed pointed out and touch on a few of my own observations as to what is being conveyed here. The lyrics to the song are: sweet dreams are made of this, who am I to disagree? Travel the world and the seven seas, everybody's looking for something. Some of them want to use you, some of them want to get used by you, some of them want to abuse you, and some of them want to be abused. As I showed in my subliminal spells video, the seven seas refer to the seven chakras. Demons, which are derivatives of this Antichrist consciousness, enter the body by coming through the crown chakra and the third eye to descend or travel the seven chakras or seven seas. Some of them want to use you, some of them want to get used by you. This is a double entendre. It means that in the world there are those who use and abuse the elite, and there are those who are the used and the abused, the sheeple or the cattle, which is how the elite view the general populace. The other meaning refers to how demons, aka Legion or Antichrist consciousness, can use humans via possession, and how other humans, the elite, use demons by summoning them for ritualistic purposes. In the video, Annie stands in front of a screen showing the mindless masses or the cattle walking along without a clue. She wears a man's suit and takes on an androgynous appearance representing the union of male and female, or black and white. The correct term for the union of black and white in alchemy is the chemical wedding. Thus the suit is the groom outfit for a wedding. Annie holds in her hand a magic wand resembling cane, and the wand is of course for casting spells. Note also the gloves. A glove can at times convey possession, as in being worn like a glove. Annie touches the globe and it becomes momentarily illuminated. There is a scene where an eye is shown on a computer monitor. The eye turns white, which is yet another symbolic indication of possession. Annie and Dave are shown meditating, at which point the camera zooms into Annie's third eye. Through the third eye stargate, everything is blue. Now, blue can symbolise the Antichrist consciousness, as it is the colour of the infinite, but it is also the colour of the throat chakra. The first thing we see is water, which is apt considering that the third eye is the water door. We soon see Annie and Dave in a boat. In other words, a vessel. Annie gives a salute as a sailor would give to a captain, perhaps to make sure that we get the point, or perhaps in reverence to or obedience to some higher authority. In the blue anti-world, Annie is now wearing a red dress. The dress is in all likelihood a wedding dress, to complete the ritual of the alchemical wedding. The lady in red, or the Scarlet Woman, represents the Whore of Babylon. The Whore of Babylon is the consort of the beast, meaning she is the female aspect of the Antichrist consciousness. She also represents our illusionary world, and a seductress who keeps us trapped here via materialism and sex, etc. This is why the lady in red is used to distract Neo in the Matrix. By being in this universe, we are essentially dancing with the lady in red. We can choose to let her seduce us, or we can choose to cut the dance short and leave her wanting for more. In the system of Thelema, the adept must be reborn in the womb of Babylon before he becomes at one with the all. Interestingly, womb and matrix both mean the very same thing. The womb of Babylon is within the abyss. After crossing the abyss and encountering Chronozon, the adept is required to give himself to the Scarlet Woman via the symbolic act of pouring his blood into her grail, or the cup of Babylon. In other words, this is all fancy terminology to describe becoming at one with the Antichrist consciousness, which is possession. In the book of Revelations it says, quote, "And I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-coloured beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns." The 10 horns of the beast are, according to Revelations, 10 kingdoms. Now this has outer relevance in that the New World Order will include 10 kingdoms, and that'll be touched on at a later point. However, the elite are Hermeticists, and the Hermetic Creed is as above, so below, as within, so without. Just as the elite are building a system of 10 kingdoms without, so too will there be one within. Those who refuse to acknowledge the Hermetic mechanisms of the overall agenda of the elite are setting themselves up for failure. The 10 kingdoms within are the 10 Sephirotic spheres of the Tree of Life. The first and 10th Sephirah, Kepha and Malkuth, are interchangeable. Malkuth is known as the kingdom. The 11th Sephirah, Darth, is where one bonds theirself either with the Christ or the Antichrist consciousness. Moreover, this 11th Sephirah is obscured from view on the tree in some depictions, because it is not so much a Sephirah in and of itself, but more so the combination of all 10 unified as one. This is why it is said that the beast will have on it 10 horns, and that out of those 10 will arise an 11th, that being the Antichrist. Because the 11th Sephirah is obscured at first, we can understand why it is referred to as the little horn. The 10 Sephirah on the Tree of Life are the 7 at the bottom and the 3 at the very top, Binah, Kepha and Shokama. These 3 Sephirah signify the journey of the adept through the womb of Babylon into rebirth at the 11th, which is Darth, making Darth the 4th Sephirah in this particular combination. This is why in Revelation we are told that the 11th horn will come out of the 4th beast. Furthermore, we are told in Daniel 7:8, quote, "There were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots." And in Daniel 7:24 it says, quote, "And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them. And he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings." In other words, this describes the progression through the top 3 Sephirah into rebirth at the 4th, which is Darth, the 11th of all 10 Sephirotic spheres, situated on the abyss. This is why it says in Revelation 17, chapters 3-8, quote, "The beast which you saw once was, now is not, and will come out of the abyss and go to his destruction." The Antichrist consciousness resides in the abyss and is the negative side of the 11th Sephirah, which is really the combination of all 10 Sephirah, hence Revelation 13 chapter 1. "And I saw a beast rise up out of the sea. He had 10 horns and 7 heads, with 10 crowns on his horns, and on each head a blasphemous name." This refers to the 11th Sephirah being the master vibration of the Absissimus, meaning that it has control over all 10 lower Sephirah of the tree. So in essence, the many have become the one. The 7 heads of the beast are the 7 chakras, or the 7 vows of Isis, which could just as accurately be called the 7 vows of the Scarlet Whore of Babylon. On the tree itself, these veils are of course the cube's 7 visible corners. So understanding that the 7 veils are the 7 heads of the beast, and that those 7 heads are the 7 chakras, the Antichrist consciousness makes its journey through the crown chakra, then the third eye chakra, and then the throat chakra. These are the 3 kingdoms that it uproots, and then it resides in the throat chakra before being let into the heart chakra, the handing over of the ivory key. From there it sits in its throne and holds dominion over all 7 chakras. Returning to the video, we see from this close-up shot that Dave is under possession. Although we can't clearly see Annie in this shot, it's a safe bet that she is as well. The scene changes back to Annie and Dave in the physical world, and they're both laying on a table under possession. A cow walks around the table, oblivious to what is going on around it. The cow is symbolic of the unilluminated human beings, or the cattle. From the perspective of this Antichrist consciousness, Sweet Dreams are made of this because it is given access via human vessels to the world, where it can walk around unnoticed by the sleeping masses. We're shown once again Annie and Dave in the boat, aka the vessel, followed by a scene where the demons walk among the cattle. The final confirmation of the theme in this song comes from the front cover of the single. On the cover, we see Annie holding in her gloved hand a heart. The wearing of the glove can, like I previously mentioned, be interpreted as a symbolic gesture of possession. The heart has around it a ribbon. Now, a ribbon is something you put around a gift. The gift, therefore, is her heart. So, in other words, she has given the ivory key to the Antichrist consciousness and allowed it into her heart. It really couldn't be any clearer. Continuing with the possession theme, this is the front cover of another Eurythmics song, Never Gonna Cry Again. The eyes once again tell us all we really need to know here. The video features Annie dressed as the Lady in Red and includes the line, I'm never gonna die again, as she rises out of the sea like Nosferatu, symbolising the Antichrist consciousness coming through the water door and death rebirth. This album cover speaks for itself. The reptilian eyes hardly need explaining, and let's face it, at this stage it's really not a surprise. Before I analyse the next version of Sweet Dreams, I would like as quickly as I can to examine yet another Eurythmics song, There Must Be an Angel. If you saw Appledore, you'll recall that in Thelema, initiates are working towards what they call communion with the holy guardian angel. This is of course what Crowley achieved in Cairo when he contacted Iabos. Generally speaking, this all refers really to illumination and the bonding of one's soul to what is in truth the Antichrist consciousness, a demonic collective consciousness that the adept becomes at one with. As I explained, one who undertakes this process will experience euphoria or bliss as they go through this process. But it is, in truth, a deception as they are becoming a part of this Antichrist consciousness. It's easy to discern this. You need only examine all the war and the bloodshed throughout the centuries that these so-called illuminated ones have orchestrated. Or as Christ said, ye shall know them by their fruits. The point is, demons, the collective hive mind that I call the Antichrist consciousness, and that referred to itself as Legion in the New Testament, are called angels by the initiates of these various occult orders. So with that in mind, and taking everything that I just pointed out in the Sweet Dreams video into consideration, here are the lyrics. No one on earth could feel like this. I'm thrown and overblown with bliss. There must be an angel playing with my heart. Okay, so straight away we can see that Annie is describing bliss and equating it with angels. She also says that the angel is playing with her heart. Considering the heart chakra, or the ivory key, is where the Antichrist consciousness must be let in to possess someone, it comes as no surprise that such an entity could be described as playing with her heart. The song continues, I walk into an empty room, and suddenly my heart goes boom. It's an orchestra of angels, and they're playing with my heart. This is all fairly self-explanatory. She refers now to an orchestra of angels playing with her heart. Yeah, because it's a collective consciousness. The song further continues, and when I think that I'm alone, it seems there's more of us at home. It's a multitude of angels, and they're playing with my heart. So, once again, reference to a collective. It's axiomatic at this stage. The last portion of the song is as follows. I must be hallucinating, watching angels celebrating. Could this be reactivating, all my senses dislocating? This must be a strange deception by celestial intervention. leaving me the recollection of your heavenly connection. Well, there you go. Similar to how Gary Newman said towards the end of the song Cars that nothing seems right, it would appear that on some level Annie may feel the same way, in her own words saying it must be a strange deception. The video to the song is a little bizarre, with themes of androgyny abound. Androgyny is simply a symbolic way of portraying illumination, the balancing of the two hemispheres to reach that sublime state, as these people would say, that state of oneness with the all, or illumination. There's also the obligatory sun symbol, which really couldn't be any more blatant. Doves also play a part, which is synonymous with the rainbow bridge. So once again, illumination. And the video closes out with the eye of the Sun King, and a wink. So the video in its entirety is overtly symbolic of becoming illuminated, thus continuing the themes present in a Sweet Dreams video.